No more messing around. It's time to go get Andrej Stojakovic.
This is Tyler Hansbrough, and you're listening to Locked On Tar Heels.
You are Locked On Tar Heels, your daily podcast on the UNC Tar Heels. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, what's up? It's Friday, April 25th, 2025. Welcome into the Locked On Tar Heels podcast, the only daily North Carolina show out there. I'm your host, Isaac Schade. You're joining me at the place to get your Tar Heels content every single day. It's all part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thanks for making us your first listen or watch of the day to get your Friday going the right way. Dare I say, kick off your weekend. Special shout out to all the everydayers with us, all the members of the Locked On Tar Heels Discord, and our great Locked On Tar Heels insiders. Welcome in. Today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $250 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. Coming up on the show today, I have been thinking more about the Drake Powell decision. And while I'm excited for him and I like to see Carolina get guys going off to the NBA, I'm rethinking it and I've got some thoughts. Also, Omarion Hampton off to the NFL, drafted Thursday night. We've got our weekend whip around. A former Tar Heel coach is retiring. But here's where we got to start. It's time to land Andrej Stojakovic. Carolina needs to go get him. Full court press. It's out there. It's possible. It's doable. Let's talk about it. I said yesterday on the show, and I can't remember if it was Thursday's actual show with Coach Rob or the show I did Wednesday night after Drake announced his early entry into the NBA. But in one of those shows, I talk a lot, right? I don't know when I say what I say. But I said, basically, it's probably the Drake Powell show based on what I'm about to say. You've got to act, if you're the staff, as though Drake is gone. You've got to focus on your team. You've got to do what's best for the 25-26 Tar Heels. Now, that might be having Drake on the team, but what's best in the long run might be not waiting around for him. And believe you me, I have no intel on this. I don't know what the conversations have been, but Hubert Davis, as loyal as he is, I am sure has told Drake, I am excited for you to do that. You need to go do that. But you need to know that we got to do what's best for the team, and that might mean moving on. And you might not have a spot when you get back. We'll talk more about that. Now, what's interesting to me is I hadn't taken that same approach with Van Allen Lubin, and this is what I really thought about. My approach with Van Allen Lubin is, all right, well, he said he's coming back, so you wait and you see. Having slept on it, no, I'm out on that too. I feel the same that I have said with Drake Powell, where it's like, would love to have Van Allen back. But always in my mind, Van Allen, in my mind and in my words that I've said on this podcast, Van Allen is more of a backup at the North Carolina level than starter level. And so, to me, you'd take the money you had earmarked for Drake Powell, you'd take the money you had earmarked for Van Allen Lubin, you put that in a pool, and you go fishing, and you see what's out there and who or what's going to nibble, because you don't know. So again, while I would love to have Van Allen Lubin back, I don't want the staff to sit idly by hoping for that, while other teams are making moves left and right and doing stuff and landing guys and getting ready. Carolina needs to be doing that, and I'm not saying they're not. I'm just saying that's what I want to see. So again, take this money and go see what you can get on the open market. Maybe you can get one elite player. That might be Andrej Stojakovic. Maybe with all that money, PJ Haggerty's on the table. I don't know. You know what I mean? Because everyone's been coming to me and saying, Isaac, we need a scorer. We need buckets. We need points. We need an RJ type player. That's PJ Haggerty. Where's he going to get $4 million? He's not. Or you could get one elite or maybe two really, really good players. Maybe a wing. Got to get a wing. That's got to be at least one of them. And then you see what's either best available or fill a need. But the worst thing you could do is sit on that money and wind up with money to burn at the end of all this. It's kind of like I've described it a lot recently as being in an auction draft in like fantasy football. You ever done that? Here's what I've said. Like the first couple times I ever did it, it was like when Adrian Peterson was so good. It was like, I'm not spending that much money on Adrian Peterson. I'm not spending that much money on whoever the next running back was. And then these guys, the other guys, spend money, get the best players, and then I'm shelling out money for mediocre players later because of supply and demand. That's why Coleman Hawkins got $2 million last year, for example. Or you get to the end of the draft and somebody's like, well, I got $20 left over. Guess I'll buy a kicker for $20 instead of $1. And you could have spent that other 19 on Adrian Peterson at the beginning of all this, for crying out loud. So that's what I don't want to see Carolina do, is sit on it. Go spend the money. And so all of that said, with that in mind, for me right now, the guy to move on to is Andrej Stojakovic. I don't care what that bag looks like. I don't care how much is in that bag, but you just got to go drop it. You got to drop a bag for Andrej Stojakovic. And here's part of why. He's someone that there were already conversations with last offseason. He's someone who's seen the campus, might not even need to come for an official visit because he already knows. And in terms of what's going on, all the conversation a couple days ago was, hey, he's at Illinois visiting right now, and he might commit while he's there. And if he does, congrats to you, Brad Underwood and company. Have fun. But if he doesn't, sink your teeth in and see what you can do. And in fact, he did leave Illinois without committing. So John Rothstein tweeted on Thursday, yesterday, quote, sources, Cal transfer Andrej Stojakovic, who recently visited Illinois, is also receiving interest from the following programs. And he lists North Carolina, Florida, Gonzaga, USC, Washington, Cincinnati. And there might be others. He didn't say that's an extensive or a exhaustive list. That's the word I'm looking for. But Carolina's at the top of that list, and it's not alphabetical. So that's not nothing. And when you look at some of these other schools, I got no problem. I can pitch Andrej Stojakovic on this in a heartbeat. You look at Washington and Cincinnati, with all due respect to Wes Miller, and you say, look, that's basically just a return to Stanford or Cal because they don't have the talent on that roster to put around you, dude. You come to Carolina, you can play with more talent, and they will make you better because you've been carrying the burden for far too long at Stanford and at Cal. You shouldn't have to do that. You should be one of the guys. And you can really stand out because you score really well. But you need better talent than Washington or Cincinnati or, frankly, USC. Gonzaga and Florida. Those are the other ones he listed here. All right, fine. Florida's got an easy selling point right now. They got some nice, shiny, new jewelry. But the pitch there is come. Fill a hole that Drake Powell just left and help Carolina get back to the luster that it is. You, Andrej, are the missing link in that right now. And with you, we could be a national champion caliber basketball team. I can sell that all day long. So sell him on coming to Carolina, helping be part of Carolina tradition, on having a bunch of talent around him. Sell him on the Harrison Ingram, who did the exact same thing coming from Stanford. And I know Stojakovic is a year removed from Stanford, but still, it's that same kind of thing. Why not pitch him on that? And the last part of this, I would say, but Isaac, what if there's some really talented players that drop out of the draft and we miss on them because we moved on Andrej Stojakovic? That's a great question. Legitimately, it is. But my response to that, my pushback would be, when that happens, let's say it's this Yeti water bottle that I'm holding. And Yeti water bottle is an NBA talent level player, or at least near NBA talent level player. And he pulls out of the NBA draft and comes back. It's going to be like a buzzards to a dead carcass. Everybody that's got some money to burn or a spot on their roster is going to be after that one dude. You want to risk being the one school out of that whole crew that lands that dude, you go after him and you risk not getting him, and then you got to settle for a less than player. While right now, you could go out and get an Andrej Stojakovic, or I could name some, Chad Baker-Mazara or Jameer Watkins, whatever, and land one of those guys who might not be quite good as that other NBA guy we're talking about that pulled out, but the difference ain't that much. And the difference that they could make up for it with the chemistry gained by going ahead and getting that person now, I think makes team better. Because again, always the thing for me, I'm not looking for the 5 best players. I'm looking for the best 5 players that can be a unit. Best group of 5 is what I'm looking for. So go get that. I'd rather lock that up right now than wait and risk missing out on a Drake Powell, whomever that may be. And again, it's not like Stojakovic is some also ran. This dude is a phenomenal basketball player, came out of high school as a top 25 recruit, was a great shooter. I think the shooting will come back. So that's where I'm at. Go get him. Don't wait. Don't sit on your money. Don't worry about it. Stojakovic is your guy, in my opinion. And there's others I would definitely consider, but that's where I'm at right now. Now, I do want to talk about some of those other options, and we're going to do that early next week. All right. Like, we haven't taken a serious look at Chad Baker-Mazara from Auburn. I think now's the time. So unless there's other news over the weekend, I think that's probably where we'll start on Monday's show. Now, the whole reason that we're having the Stojakovic conversation is because Drake Powell on Wednesday. What day was that? Wednesday. Wednesday. That Drake Powell decided to enter the NBA draft. I've had some more thoughts about that, and that's what I want to unpack coming up in just a second. Right after I tell you about the Amazon Fire TV Stick 4K. Hey, did you know that your Fire TV, I'm pointing back there for those watching, because I actually have mine right back there, is also an Xbox? You can turn on any TV in your house into a gaming and entertainment hub with Fire TV Stick 4K devices. No console required for the Xbox. You just grab a paired controller, subscribe or sign in to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate with EA Play included, and you're ready to play. Dive into hundreds of premium titles like EA Sports College Football 25 to Call of Duty Black Ops 6 and so many others, just as easily as you stream your favorite shows. It's gaming made simple, and it's all on your Fire TV. You can play high-quality Xbox games at a fraction of the cost of a console. But maybe you already have a console. That's great too. No problem. A Fire TV Stick 4K device is more affordable and easier to travel with. So keep your console at home. Take the Fire Stick with you on the road wherever you plug in, man. It's great. Well, maybe you don't have any interest in gaming. That's kind of me. I'm not a big gamer. Well, great news there too. The Amazon Fire TV Stick is the perfect go-to for all your family's entertainment. We have one. Literally every TV in our house has a Fire Stick on it. That's how much I believe in it. The platform is easy to use. It's easy to navigate. I love how customizable it all is. So go check it out. Head to Amazon.com, Fire TV Locked On to get started. Xbox Game Pass Ultimate subscription and compatible controller required. Available on select devices, including Fire TV Stick 4K 2nd Gen, Fire TV Stick 4K Max 1st and 2nd Gen, and Fire TV Cube 3rd Gen. Go check it out right now. Again, that's Amazon.com/Fire TV Locked On. I want to revisit the Drake Powell decision to enter the NBA draft. In truth, I'm still trying to wrap my brain around it. It is obviously good for guys, for Carolina to be sending guys to the NBA. We've talked about that on the Drake Powell show, where I said, look, both things can be true. I can be sad that he's leaving because I wanted him to be part of this team and I like him at Carolina, but I'm also happy for him to go to his next thing. I'm happy for North Carolina to be putting guys into the NBA because that helps with recruiting. But let me add a phrase to the end of the sentence I just said. It's good for UNC to be sending guys to the NBA, comma, at the right time. And what doesn't make sense to me is that based on Drake Powell's grades right now, and obviously we don't know what he got from the undergraduate advisory committee the committee that kind of gets data and sends it back to you about where teams are at. But based on what we're seeing right now in all the mock drafts, everything I've looked at, Drake right now would be a back end first rounder at best. And honestly, in my opinion, more likely right now, second round. Now, we're going to see how testing goes. We'll see how the combine goes, all that. And then he's got 10 days to pull out if he wants to. But in my opinion, as I've thought about this, as I've slept on it, if Drake is to be drafted where it seems like he's going to be drafted, he would have been better off staying in Chapel Hill, getting paid, and elevating his game and getting drafted higher next year with what I think, and I'm not a big time draft guy, but I know enough because I follow it all. I think next year's draft is not going to be as strong as this year's draft. So that's another factor in it for me. And again, do not hear me wrong. Do not get me wrong. Do not put different words in my mouth. I want Drake Powell to go pro. I just want Drake Powell to go pro when it's the right time. Look at Harrison Ingram. We talked about him earlier. Look at him from last year as literally a great example of this, right? Like spent almost the entire year in the G League. And maybe he was okay with that, right? I don't know. But it's like, man, if Harrison had come back, who knows? Who knows what he could have done and how that would have changed things. And I say all this about Drake, and I've got to acknowledge, we don't know everything at play. We don't know what matters to Drake. There might be things that matter to him that we don't know, aren't privy to, just don't understand, whatever. We don't know what matters to his family. And so everything I'm saying, I recognize as speculation. But all things being equal, I think you could come back and make more money at Chapel Hill this year than you could as a second round NBA draft pick or playing overseas. And I think that by coming back, you could raise that stock to where next year you could get drafted higher. And literally every slot you go up is more money in your bank account. But now, as things stand, and as I said on the live reaction to Drake's entry, he's put himself in a limited spot from an option standpoint. Because unlike somebody like Boogie Flanders, who the example I used was on that show, he has not entered both the draft and the portal, which is what a lot of guys do. Why? Because if I go to the combine, if I go through all this draft stuff and I stay in it until, that deadline when I got to pull out and come back, the chances are that my team has wisely moved on and backfilled my position. And then I got nothing to come back to unless I'm in the portal, and then I can find another school who probably needs me, and they would. Drake enters his name in the NBA draft literally the day after the portal closes. And so selfishly, I love it because it means if he pulls out, Carolina's his only option. But what's that going to look like? There's just a lot there. And if he elects to come back, there might not be a spot. There might not be money. I hope this all works out for Drake. I do. I hope he kills it in the combine and workouts and interviews and rockets up the draft boards. We'll have to wait and see on that. Now, somebody that was very high on the NFL draft boards was Omarion Hampton, who was indeed drafted on Thursday night in the first round. So happy for Omarion. A former Carolina coach is retiring, and we got to get to our weekend whip around. We'll do all that coming up in just a second. Right after I tell you about FanDuel, the NBA playoffs are here, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action right now. When you join FanDuel and place your first $5 bet, you're going to get $250 in bonus bets if that bet wins. I love how FanDuel makes it really easy to be able to get in on this. So whether it's picking your favorite team straight up against the spread, whatever, or diving into player props from three-pointers to steals to assists, man, FanDuel is taking care of you and allowing you to be able to do this pretty easily. And part of that is that they've got a whole bunch of different ways to bet on your favorite player props. And beyond that, you're not done when the game tips off. If you want to keep going, you can. You can even combine live prop bets into a same game parlay for a chance to win even bigger. Looking ahead to NBA action tonight, the Celtics are a 4.5 point favorite over Orlando, down in Orlando. So maybe the Celtics are going to go up 3-0 in this series. Maybe you think they'll go up 3, but the Magic will stay within the number. Man, it's a great opportunity for you there. Don't miss out. Head on over to FanDuel.com and claim your $250 in bonus bets today. Before we get to the weekend whip around, I got 3 quick nuggets for you. Man, I should have brought some like Chick-fil-A nuggets to eat while I give you nuggets. I'm all about the branding. Omarion Hampton, drafted 22nd overall in the first round of the NFL draft by the Chargers. This is great, kind of in the range of where I was expecting him to go in the low 20s. And that's exactly what happens here. If you watched this week's ACC squad show or listened to this week's ACC squad show, you heard Alex Dono, our great Locked On ACC host, talk about how he thought, maybe Cam Ward was the only guaranteed first rounder. And I was like, bro, what? No. What mock drafts are you looking at? Omarion will be a first round draft pick. And sure enough, that's exactly what happens. Going to play for Harbaugh, who likes to run the football. That's good news from Omarion, who should slot in right away. So congrats to Omarion. Can't wait to see you get to work. And then can't wait to see what other Tar Heels hear their name called throughout the rest of the weekend and the 7 rounds of the NFL draft. Next, Coach Steve Robinson. We've got our Coach Rob here on the show. That's Coach Bill Robinson and Coach Steve Robinson, who was a long-time assistant with Coach Williams, both at Kansas and back at Carolina. And then when Coach Davis and his new staff came in, Coach Rob went to Arizona. Ultimately, Caleb Love goes there as well. Well, it was announced on Thursday that Coach Steve Robinson is retiring. And so congratulations, Coach Rob. It's well-deserved. Hope you get great time with your family and rest and do all the things that you wanted to do that the coaching life just doesn't allow for. So congrats. Great stuff. On the other side of celebrating, just some sad news on Thursday. Elijah Arenas, who is going to be a freshman at USC this year, playing basketball for the Trojans, the son of Gilbert Arenas, was in some kind of really bad car accident. There's not a ton of details as to what happened or what caused it or anything like that. But because, thankfully, it seems like this was a pretty bad looking accident, but it didn't wind up being as bad as maybe originally thought, at least in terms of bodily injuries. He did inhale a lot of smoke, apparently, and so he's right now in a medically induced coma to allow his body to exhale that smoke. I'm not even entirely sure what's going on there. But man, if you're a praying person, I would just encourage you to lift up the Arenas family and Elijah in particular. USC has had their troubles with some injuries or things happening. Remember, LeBron's son Bronny had a heart thing a couple years ago, collapsed and missed some time early in the season. The year before that, I believe it was Vince Uichukwu. Is that right? That also had a heart thing. So USC's just had kind of a series of these. And so hopefully Elijah will be okay. And just prayers lifted up to the Arenas family. All right. Weekend whip around. Here we go. Let's start on the diamond with the baseball boys, the Diamond Heels, who come in 31-9, 13-8 in ACC play. Their game midweek was rained out and ultimately canceled. I don't think it's going to be made up. The Tar Heels are number 8 in the nation this week. They jump up after winning that series up in Blacksburg last weekend. It was a great, great, great win. This weekend, Carolina is up at Pitt Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Tonight is 6 o'clock. Tomorrow is 3 o'clock Eastern. All of these are Eastern. And Sunday is 1, all 3 on ACC Network Extra. Quite honestly, Pittsburgh is bad. And even quite honestly, that's not a word, but you know what I mean. Carolina needs to sweep the Panthers. Yes, they need to win the series to get a 6th straight series win. But I'm getting greedy on this one. Part of the reason is because after this, there were only 2 more regular season series. One is hosting NC State, who right now is just above the Tar Heels in the ACC standings. And then after that, they got to go to Tallahassee to play Florida State, who's right up. I think they're second in the conference standings right now. So Carolina has a great chance to move up. They also have a chance to move down. And I think that's why it's critical to take care of business this weekend against an overmatched Pittsburgh team. So we'll see what happens there. Softball is at Notre Dame this weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All three on ACC Network Extra. 5, 1, and noon are the times for those. The ladies come in 36-14 overall, 12-9 in ACC play. Women's tennis just waiting on their NCAA tournament assignment right now, and we'll see what's next with that for the regionals. Women's lacrosse is in the ACC championship mode right now. Wednesday in the quarterfinal, they beat Virginia Tech 19-9. Way to go, ladies. Semifinal action today against Clemson, 5 p.m. on ACC Network. Carolina beat the Tigers 18-5 in the regular season, although it was at home in Chapel Hill. If they should be fortunate enough to beat Clemson, the championship is Sunday at noon, also on ACC Network. Stay tuned for that. And they just continue to dominate everyone. It's insane. Men's lacrosse wraps the regular season this weekend at Syracuse on Saturday. That match is at 5 p.m. on ACC Network. The guys are 9-3 overall, 2-1 in ACC play. Women's golf is off. Men's golf is in the ACC championships this weekend. Just started day one of stroke play on Thursday. Virginia leads after day one at -10, followed by Louisville at -7, and then the Tar Heels -5. We'll take that. The other three teams under par right now are SMU at -4, Wake at -2, and Cal at -1. So 2 more days of stroke play. Today, Friday, tomorrow, Saturday is the third round. After that, we'll get down to the quarterfinals. So I think they'll eliminate it down to the top 8 teams from stroke play. Will play in match play. Saturday, that's the tough day because it's both quarterfinals and semifinals. And then Sunday would be the championship. Track and field all over the place this weekend. Penn relays started yesterday. They finished tomorrow. The Jim Freeman Clark Wood Invitational in Louisville is starting today. And the Charlotte Invitational is today and tomorrow as well. So we got Tar Heel track and fielders all over the joint, man. Interesting stuff there. And then wrapping it up, rowing is at the Lake Wheeler Invitational today and tomorrow in Raleigh. So good stuff there. Good luck to all the Tar Heel teams this weekend, especially those of you like women's lacrosse that are in the postseason. Can't wait to see what happens with that. You guys, thanks so much for being with me today. Would love to get all your thoughts as well on Drake and Ben Allen. Should Carolina wait? Should they not? What do you think should happen with that? If you've not subscribed to the show on YouTube, make sure to do that just down there at the bottom. If you've not subscribed to the show on audio, make sure you do that too, so you catch every single episode. You can even set it up to automatically download for you, so you don't have to go in and waste streaming time. It's just, that's what I do with my podcast. So much easier. I would encourage you to do. I guess I've never thought to say that on the show, but it's a great way to help you just get everything downloaded already. If you've not joined the Locked On Tar Heels Discord, we'd love to have you in there. That link is in the show notes. Free to join. And if you want to go even deeper with the show, I have one-on-one with me, other perks, great stuff there. You can go into the Locked On Tar Heels Insider program. That link is also in the show notes. We'd love for you to join that. It's a great and growing subset of our Locked On Tar Heels family. You guys, it's always a great day to be a Tar Heel. We'll talk again Monday, unless there's breaking news this weekend, in which case I'll break in and we'll talk about it. But until then, peace.